Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Pentiment playthrough. Today, returning to Pentiment. Rex Postman. Mistress Druckren, only one letter for you today. The pass is nigh impossible to traverse, and the heavy snow is hard on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Magdalene, thank you. The same to you. A reply from Jacob Estler. Mistress Druckren, I do recall the Rothvagel case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an archdeacon. I am no longer associated with the office of the Prince Bishop. In fact, I am no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, I will tell you what I remember. I investigated several murders as archdeacon, but none had the curious specter of conspiracy that haunted Baron Rothvagel. After the peasants burned Kiersau, I read a report suggesting that a conspiracy was behind the murder of the town carpenter as well. It was around this time that I did some research of my own into the death of Father Gernot's predecessor, Father Matthias. Father Matthias, abbot of Kiersau before Father Gernot, widely respected by the monks and nuns, as well as the people of Tassing, known for his kindness and his love of books. While no one suspected foul play at the time, I had reason to believe that his death may be connected to the other two murders. If this is the case, a serpent has lain coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes this serpent to awaken every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you are determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbors. I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some help to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Estler. Magdalene. No reply from Esther this time. It must have been delayed due to the heavy snow. The postman said I won't receive any more letters until spring. I'd better get back to the Rothaus, then. Still more work to be done. Christmas Eve. Magdalene. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up with the mural, and now I can start the final part today. I promise I'll get it done. Klaus. Magdalene. I'm proud of you. Magdalene. Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Stoll said you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the Perchtenlauf. Perchtenlauf, a Germanic folk ritual celebrated around Christmas time, in which townsfolk dress as Perchten and drive evil spirits from the town to protect it in the coming year. Klaus. There's always next year. Magdalene. Right. How are you feeling? Dr. Stoll said he would come by again today. Klaus. Fine. I'm fine. Magdalene. We could say, are you sure? Do you need anything? Or, maybe I should stay home with you today. Or, all right, I'll come by later to check on you. We will go with... Are you sure? Do you need anything? Klaus. No. Go on, I'm all right. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve after all. Magdalene. Of course. Klaus. What's wrong? Magdalene. Dad, I found a note back in November. Class. A note? What do you mean? Magdalene. It was like a note I found in your plans for the murals. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. Elaborate writing, purple ink. It just said, stop. Class. Magdalene. Do you know where they came from? Who wrote them? Class. Magdalene. Magdalene. Oh God, that must be Ott's. He said he'd drop by with more firewood. Class. Magdalene. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, all right? Class. I know, I will. Can we talk about it later? Magdalene. Nod or Dad. Class. I'll tell you, I promise. Magdalene. All right. I'll be back later. Class. Good. Take care of yourself out there. The chapter is called The Revolt of 1525, so that's pretty intense. Let's see what we have here. Ott's morning, Magdalene. Magdalene morning, Ott's. Cold out, isn't it? Ott's freezing. Makes me envy Nico, able to stay inside all day. Even Endris has his forge to keep him warm. Anyway, here. I brought you some firewood for you and your dad. Magdalene. We could say I could have managed, or thank you, Otts. Otts, you're welcome. Magdalene. Otts, so, how's your dad? You think he can join everyone for Christmas Mass? Magdalene. I'm sure he'll stay in bed tonight. I need to keep working on the mural, though. I'm working on the final section. Otts. About the Peasants' Revolt, right? It feels weird to talk about. It affected Tassing so much, but we were just kids. Oh, excuse me, this is the revolt from the past. I can't remember what happened, since I was just a baby. I never even knew my dad. Magdalene. That's what makes it difficult. I need to ask those who were already adults that night, but don't want to touch raw nerves. Otts. What if you spoke to people while everyone was preparing for the Christmas festivities? Clara sometimes talks about that night. Mom, too. You might be able to ask them. Magdalene. Wojslav and Matilda are the only two Benedictines left living in Tassing. Maybe they'll talk to me. Otts. Huh. I didn't think of that. Still, the mural is for Tassing, not the old abbey. Agnes has always been in Tassing, right? I'd go to her if I were you. Magdalene will say, that's useless. She hates when anyone talks about the revolt, or Dad says she helped bury everyone who died that night. I wonder if she'd talk about it. Otts, it's your project, Magdalene. Might be worth a try. Magdalene. I wrote to the old archdeacon about it too. He thinks that the Baron's murder and Otto's death are connected to the revolt. Otts, the who? Magdalene. We could say, the old... Oh, never mind. Or, it doesn't matter. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? Or, the man who came to Tassing for the Baron Rothfagel's murder. Otts, what about him? Magdalene. We could say, he was the judge for the Baron's murder. What if all the deaths in Tassing are connected? Otts, I don't see how that whole Baron has anything to do with the revolt. Are you feeling all right? I think you're looking for connections that aren't there. Maybe this mural project is getting to you. We'll say, oh, you're useless, or maybe you're right. I just can't shake the feeling someone is following me, or I need to get to the bottom of this, Otts. There's something more to all this. I know it. Otts, if you're sure. Magdalene, I'll figure it out somehow. Thanks for the wood. Otts, see you later, Mags. Ugh. Otts is right. I should start talking to people around town. I better get started if I want to talk to everyone before the Perklinlauf. So you want to talk with Wojslav and Matilda, as well as, we want to talk with, everyone seems to be in their house, so... Actually, since this is probably one of our last chances to, like, complete the whole circuit of talking with people, I say we actually just start at the farm and go from there. See who we can talk to at the farm. There's no one here at Martin Bowers. No one here either. Can't go in Hans's house. Let's see with the Gertners if they have anybody there. Can we go in the Gertners? We can. We can go to the Gertners' house. It's a party in here. Let's talk with everybody. Big York. Hello, Magdalene. Gret. Bless you, Magdalene. Clara. Clara. Hello, Magdalene. I would have thought you'd be working on the mural today. What brings you here? Magdalene. I'm working on the final section of the mural now, about the revolt. It's going well, but I need more details. I was only a baby at the time, but you all lived through the event. I want to portray it in the best way possible. I would like sit with you and ask how you remember the rebellion, if that's all right. Clara, that was a sad time. If it will help you memorialize those we lost in the revolt, yes, I'll answer a few questions. Ursula, I don't mind. I was a little older than you, so I probably remember more, Magdalene. Gret, of course, Magdalene. We'll tell you all you want to know. I've been looking forward to seeing the mural for some months. Clara, come now, sit with us. Now that you're all settled, what did you want to know? Magdalene, did the revolt have anything to do with the other murder that happened in Tassing? Clara, oh, the murder of the Baron, you mean? No, not really. I only remember that Andreas attempted to be a peacekeeper in both situations. I suppose that's when things started going poorly. Gret, oh, poor Agnes. Lucky was a strong man. She's still heartbroken over the matter. Clara, yes. It was really after the Baron's murder the abbot became so severe. Ursula, I'll bet he blamed the Baron's murder on Tassing, and the Abbey's failures too. Gret, I don't know about any of that, but his taxes and restrictions and his attitude toward us became harsher after that. Clara, it was all we could do to live by them, but it eventually became too much. Magdalene, even with all the restrictions, was the revolt really justified? I keep hearing conflicting stories about how it began. I know things were bad for the peasants, but was it worth all the loss? Or, I thought the peasants stormed the abbey unprovoked, and the Landsknechts had to be called in. Clara, you wouldn't remember it, Magdalene, but the abbot forced us to starvation. We would have died either way. With so many men killed, we struggled with the crops even more, and the famine lasted into the next year. Gret, we did everything we could to keep things from getting violent, but the Lord had other plans. Clara, all we wanted was fair access to common land and taxes that left us with enough to live on, but the abbot tore even that away. Ursula, I remember how sick and hungry I was all the time. Grandpa kept saying it hadn't always been like that. Clara, all was fine until one of the brothers killed Otto, in retaliation for finding out just how corrupt the abbey was. Well, my husband wouldn't let that rest. We all wanted justice. When that soldier arrived and threatened us, all the townsfolk pulled away, except for you and Ulrich, Gret. Gret, no, Clara, I'm afraid even I was intimidated, and begged Ulrich to leave the matter be. My husband alone stood with the peasants. Magdalene, we could say, why did all the peasants revolt anyway? So many people died, they must have known it wouldn't succeed, or Dad always talks about how he regrets that choice. That's why he wanted to paint the mural. Or could the revolt have succeeded if the townsfolk didn't pull away? Gret, Father Ganot was a terrible man. He sought control over the temporal realm rather than service to his underlings. Clara, Father Ganot called in the soldiers to stop us, and that scared the townsfolk. By then we were so starved and wanted justice so much, Peter truly thought success was possible. Gret, there was still some discussion. Ulrich and Andreas wanted peace. Ursula. Then that fucking Miller protected that tonsured bastard. He always hated us, thought he was better than us. Clara. Ursula. Language. Ursula. What, Mom? It's true. Leonard even shot Ulrich out of nowhere. Magdalene. You could say, people don't just shoot one another without cause, or it was unprovoked. Clara. Yes. Leonard always did hate the rest of the townsfolk, and he would take advantage of anyone he could. Gret. My husband sought peace to the last. He was a martyr to us. Clara. I think the miller shot Ulrich to retaliate, but after that, Peter couldn't be stopped. We'd lost too much. Gret. The burning of the abbey was a grim night, and the soldiers coming in. Clara. Our men fought to protect us, to protect Tassing, and many died in that fight. Ursula. But we got rid of the abbot and all the monks at least. Clara. Yes, and that is some comfort, if only a little. Magdalene. Are there any heroes of Tassing I should memorialize? Ursula. Dad, definitely. Clara. Peter always wanted the best for Tassing, even if he acted rashly by setting fire to the abbey. I hope you can portray him in the best light, Magdalene. I'd rather not talk about that night anymore. I hope we provided enough insight for your work. Magdalene. We could say, I guess I can work with what you've said, or I won't ask any further, or you did. Thank you. I'll let you get back to work. Clara. Thank you, Magdalene. I'm certain the mural will be beautiful. Can you talk with Ursula? No, same general conversation with all of them. Oh, Il Peter is there. Oh, and look here, Apollo and Artemis. That's kind of strange. Apollo and Artemis both mad at me. It's just fun here. Magdalene. Good to see Il Peter still doing well. Okay, so this was the Gertner house. People are having a nice time in there. It was a very nice conversation. Andrus, can we talk with him? Doesn't seem to be that way. So we'll explore the central town and then go to the abbey before we go to the north. We'll end on the north town. The Kreutzer house. I don't know who we can talk to in here, but there's probably someone here. And the mill, of course. Eva. Hello, Magda. What about Black Till? And Christina? Magda. So, we'll go to Church and Drucker's. No, we'll do Church and Drucker's actually after. First, we'll head to the town, the central town. Alvin Bakery. I thought it might be closed though, because Gret's away, but yeah. So Gret is just away. Of course, she's at Lady Gardner's house. North Town. Steiner house. Oh, we get a conversation with Agnes, which should be really good. So here we go. Just talk with Agnes immediately. Agnes. Magdalene Druckern. I didn't expect to see you today. How was your father? Magdalene. We could lie. He's doing better today, or I'm sorry. I'd rather not talk about it today. Or he's not well, honestly. Agnes. Oh, no? I'm so sorry. Brigitta. He'll be in our prayers tonight. Veronica. Ours as well. Agnes. Now then, is there something we can do to help you, dear? Magdalene. We could say, Agnes, you're old. You remember things that happened in this town, right? Or I have a small favor to ask. We'll definitely go with the first. Agnes. Oh, go on then, spit it out. Magdalene. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd like you all to recount what you remember of the revolt. I'm nearly done with my mural, but I need more details. I was so young, I don't remember much of that night. Agnes. Oh, for that project of yours in the Rath House, I'm afraid I won't have much good to say about the matter, but all right. Veronica. Come, sit down, Magdalene. Don't worry about helping with the wreaths. Brigitta. It took me years to get the technique up to Mom's expectations. So you're better off not helping. Agnes, bah, you always did fine, Brigitta. Veronica, so, Magdalene, what do you need to know to finish the mural? Magdalene, I was hoping to ask you more about the revolt. It seems so important, but no one ever talks about it. All I can remember was the flames when the abbey burned, because I was so young. Veronica, what part of the revolt? The abbot starving us out of house and home? Otto's murder? I doubt that would be a good painting. Magdalene, I thought the abbot of Kiersau was acting in his rights, or it seems like the abbot at Kiersau wasn't on very good terms with Tassing. Or I thought there was an attempt to talk to the abbot. We'll go with the middle one there. Veronica, everyone but that fucking Miller hated him, with a good reason. Agnes, yes, well, for an abbot he was very unchristian. He only ever cared for how many pfennigs he could get from us. Brigitta, don't forget to twist the reeds in, the ends in. Can't have it looking like a Christmas hedgehog. Brigitta, I'm getting there, Mom. I've looked after Martin and Kraft well enough, haven't I? I can manage this. Agnes, yes, well, after your father died, I've got no one left to nag, besides you and that husband of yours. Thank God I have both of you, as a matter of fact. Let an old woman have her vices. After that bastard artist got your father killed. Magdalene, we could say, you mean Master Miller? Dad said that none of that was his fault, or Dad said that Master Miller made some mistakes, but he was seeking justice. Or you mean Andreas? I thought he was my dad's friend. We'll just say the first one for the sake of Agnes and her loss. Agnes, yes, he was your father's friend, though I don't fault Klaus for that. How could he have known what that little shit from Nuremberg was going to do? He accused my husband of killing a noble of all things, and the archdeacon. Brigitta, Mom. Agnes, God forgive me, but I could kill that man. And then, to come back and start a riot amongst the peasants. Oh, he deserved that fire. Brigitta, Mom, calm down. It was 20 years ago. Veronica, and some of it came to good, right? After the abbey took Ottilia's house away, she stayed with you? Agnes, yes, that's true. God provided a place for her to live in Tassing. The Lord sees justice done in all things. He knows my Lucky's heart. Magdalene, we could say, did the revolt accomplish anything? Or, Dad always says the townsfolk didn't stand with the peasants as long as they should have. Or, I always heard that night was a slaughter. Why didn't anyone stop the peasants? We'll say the first one. Agnes, well, the entire matter was a horrible bloody mess, but did restore peace in Tassing, by force. A shame it had to happen at all. I think I knew the revolt was a bad idea from the start. Brigitta, old Boguslav would be the only one to know what happened inside the old church now before the fire. Agnes, some like to say things were always that bad, that violence was the only way, but it wasn't. Life got worse over the years. It wasn't like this when I was a child, not in my grandparents' time either. Sure, the abbot was pinching the townsfolk, and the peasants were suffering, but to go against the church? Veronica, but like you said, things weren't always so bad. We fought to make things right. Agnes, a foolish fight. And to think I delivered a baby. Your friend Esther, in fact, during the whole event. Magdalene, that's right. The Sommerfelds were in town because of all the revolts around then. Her parents couldn't get home. Agnes, praise God she made it home. A babe on the road in those days. A miracle, I say. Magdalene, but things got better in the end, right? Even if so many people died? Well, the revolt didn't totally fail, did it? The abbot and monks have left, or it doesn't seem like things have gotten much better. We'll be optimistic. Brigitta, what kind of good comes from violence? Veronica, I've never seen Peter so angry. Agnes, well, what can one do against a mob holding torches? That soldier even warned Peter, but nothing would stop him besides steel. Magdalene, so nothing got better at all? Agnes, no, not as I see it. The land is just as, excuse me, the Lord is just as severe as the abbot was, and threatens force at every turn. Brigitta, that's life. You can struggle and die to accomplish something, and nothing changes. Fighting or working, it never matters. We starve and die in the end. Agnes, heh, the dead are luckier. They died believing they changed something. We are stuck with the harsh reality. Brigitta, this is all you've known, Magdalene. You've grown used to it. We all have. Magdalene, you could say, oh, I see, or thank you for sharing your story with me. Agnes, it's important to share our suffering with the younger generations. Maybe they can change something. Veronica, good luck on the mural, Magdalene. Agnes, good luck, Magdalene. Alright, let's see where else we need to go. So we don't want to go to the North Town yet. Instead, we're going to head over here to Church and Druckers and continue the conversation there. Oh, this is our house. We're not going to go there. I don't think we can have that conversation with Klaus yet about who he thinks the murderer is. So let's go to the Our Lady of the Labyrinth. And let's see if Father Thomas wants to have a conversation. He probably does if he's here. He's not here. And his sister Amelie, she's not here either. So they aren't there to have a conversation. Next, we head to the mill to talk with Elsa if we can. The Miller house. And Paula should be here also. And Anna's here also. Paula. Hello, Magdalene. Anna. God bless you, Magdalene. Ulrich and Andreas playing. Ulrich. Hello, Mag. Andreas. Magdalene. Good to see them happy. I'm not sure we can go upstairs there, but let's try. No. Okay, next is the mill? No, but we can go to the meadow, then we can go to the forest. Let's see if anybody's at the forest. Aye, Václav and Smokey are. Václav, hello again, Magdalene. Are you getting ready for the Christmas celebrations? Magdalene, of course, along with everyone else in town. Or, not really, I have other things I'm trying to take care of. Václav, I've never been here for Christmas. I'd meant to move on, but the snow. Magdalene, right, came fast this year. Václav, Smokey told me your father was injured. How is he? Magdalene, I don't know, Václav. He's not doing well. Or, I think he's going to be all right. It will just take time. We'll go with the first one. Václav, good. I'm glad to hear. Well, I don't want to keep you from your tasks. Magdalene, you could say, Václav, do you want to come to the Christmas feast? Or, I'll see you later then. Merry Christmas, Václav. Merry Christmas. And Smokey? Hello, Magdalene. We're not inviting Václav after his whatever talk about Lucifer and stuff. That was just not, according to the Bible, so. Yeah. That doesn't seem the correct choice for a Christian such as Magdalene. So we're not moving over here. So there's really not much place else that Brother Wojslav could be at this point. So if he's not up at the Abbey, I don't know where he is actually. So, yeah. So we'll talk with him. He could be, however, near the, he could be at the North Town. So that's actually also an option. He could be there at the North Town. We're not going to the Upper Abbey. The Upper Abbey is too snowed in. I won't be able to visit the poor Clares for a while. Wow. So there's no other place for him to be but the North Town. And that is where we're going to head next. So let's go ahead and head over there. Can we talk with the Golden Hand Inn, though? I forgot about the Golden Hand Inn. Let's see who's here. Oh, it looks like there are a bunch of people here. Killian, Hans, Alexander. And we'll talk with them all in the next video. So that is where I'll go ahead and end the video there for this week. I want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe as it greatly helps the channel. Light to be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.